Listen, here's something almost nobody wants to admit. Society isn't held together by kindness, laws, or even order. It's held together by infrastructure, the invisible skeleton underneath everything you rely on. And the terrifying part? It doesn't take a nuclear war or some Hollywood-level disaster to break it. Just five specific failures, five weak points, and the social structure around you collapses faster than you think. Not in days, not in hours, in minutes. And if you believe that sounds exaggerated, that's exactly why it hits people so hard. They underestimate the fragility of the systems keeping them alive. The first failure happens so quietly, you won't notice until it's too late. The loss of real-time communication. Everyone thinks a blackout means no lights. Wrong. A true infrastructure collapse means no information. When cellular towers lose backup power and data centers shut down, you don't just lose phone calls, you lose orientation. Humans are terrible at dealing with uncertainty. When you can't verify news, can't check what's happening outside your neighborhood, can't reach the people you depend on, your brain fills the gaps with fear, and fear spreads faster than any virus. This is the moment when rumors beat facts, when people start acting on assumptions instead of reality, and when the social fabric quietly tears from the inside. In every modern disaster study, misinformation always becomes lethal long before physical danger appears. Because when truth disappears, predictability disappears. And when predictability disappears, humans become unpredictable. But if losing communication destabilizes your mind, losing water infrastructure destabilizes your body. Urban water systems depend entirely on pressure, pumps, and electrical monitoring. When those three fail, the collapse is immediate and brutal. People assume water runs out slowly. No. Water pressure collapses within 20 to 40 minutes, and within hours, the entire grid becomes a maze of air pockets, contamination risks, and unmonitored flow. The real danger isn't running out of drinking water, it's losing the ability to transport it, treat it, and keep it clean. Hospitals can't sterilize equipment. Firefighters can't suppress fires. Toilets stop working, and sewage backflow becomes a real threat. You don't even need an apocalypse for society to fall apart. Just let millions of people lose functional water for a few hours. Hygiene deteriorates. Heat stroke cases increase. Dehydration impairs decision-making by 10 to 20%. And at that point, it's not the environment killing you. It's your own biology failing you because the infrastructure meant to protect you has vanished. Next comes something people never think about until chaos is already unfolding. The breakdown of transportation flow. Not cars, not gasoline, flow. Modern cities are designed with the assumption that everything moves: goods, people, emergency vehicles. When traffic systems lose synchronization, when fuel stations stop pumping, when public transport locks up, the city freezes in place. Supply chains that look solid suddenly reveal how fragile they actually are. Grocery stores have, on average, 3 days of stock with normal demand. When panic buying starts, shelves empty in under 2 hours. But that's not even the real danger. The real danger is that emergency response vehicles can't reach you. Fire trucks can't move through gridlock. Ambulances get stuck behind stalled cars. When transportation flow collapses, time collapses. Everything takes longer, and longer is deadlier during a crisis. This is why cities look civilized until the moment people can't move, and then they turn into pressure cookers. But then another invisible domino falls, and this one is psychological. The collapse of retail and supply infrastructure. People assume stores will stay open because they always do. But stores rely on digital payment systems, temperature-controlled storage, constant resupply, and security presence. When those fail, stores close instantly, not gradually. And when stores close, society enters scarcity mode. Scarcity isn't just a lack of goods. It's a shift in human mentality. People stop seeing each other as neighbors and start seeing each other as competitors. And competition quickly becomes threat perception. The first signs are subtle. People guarding their shopping carts, taking long, anxious glances, moving with tension. But it escalates into open confrontation, shockingly fast. We romanticize community helping community, but real data shows communities fracture when they can't rely on shared resources. And once survival becomes individual rather than collective, collapse accelerates. Then comes the failure almost nobody prepares for, but it's one of the deadliest: the collapse of medical and emergency infrastructure. Emergency rooms are built for stability, not chaos. They operate on just-in-time supply chains, energy-intensive equipment, and strictly managed staff rotations. Remove electricity or water for just a few hours, and ERs become overwhelmed, understaffed, and dangerously uncoordinated. Trauma cases rise because accidents increase during panic. Chronic conditions worsen because medication supply stops. Minor injuries become major threats because hygiene infrastructure collapses. And once emergency services are overwhelmed, society loses its safety net, the belief that help will always arrive. That belief is one of the thin psychological threads holding order together. When people realize no one is coming to save them, they shift from compliant to desperate. And desperate individuals behave unpredictably. That leads to the final infrastructure failure, the one that accelerates collapse more than all the others combined: the collapse of trust. Trust is infrastructure. It's invisible, but everything is built on it. Traffic, markets, hospitals, communication, even the simple act of standing in a line. When people no longer trust the system to stabilize, they stop following rules. And when they stop following rules, the system collapses faster. No government can restore order faster than fear can undo it. Fear multiplies. And once people start to act on instinct rather than cooperation, collapse becomes self-sustaining. You don't need violence to see it, just hesitation, suspicion, and self-preservation instincts, activating simultaneously across millions of minds. Society doesn't fall apart from the outside, it erodes from within. These 5 failures are not dramatic Hollywood scenarios. They're documented patterns in every major collapse event. Communication fails first. Water fails next. Transportation stalls. Retail breaks. Medical systems overload. And trust evaporates. The order doesn't change. The timing doesn't change. Only the speed changes depending on how unprepared people are. And the truth is, most people are dangerously unprepared. But the good news is simple. The moment you understand these patterns, you stop being surprised by them. And when you stop being surprised, you stop hesitating. And when you stop hesitating, you stay ahead of collapse instead of being crushed by it.